Hey, this is Kirk.
And this is Bird. It's the Kirk and Bird show coming off the high school state championships. And we guess who we got in the house tonight? We got your boy Jay Gholson.
Jay Gholson.
And our boy AJ Anthony Jones from the 757 Ohio.
What up?
Yo.
All right.
I love this. This is going to be great. Go ahead, Kirk. Tell us what we're going to talk about.
Well, first and foremost, we had state championship weekend, and we had 12 teams, and we want to congratulate the finalists and the champions. Riverheads, which is out of Augusta County near Staunton, won. They've got one of the longest winning streaks in the country. King William won, and they beat a good team. And then Brock Lawn.
Is King William? Is there area code 757? Does anybody know?
No,
I don't know.
It's probably 540. It's Route 3.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out if we can claim it.
It's the Northern Neck. It's the Northern Neck. I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's 540. But Division 4, Varina, great program, beat a very good broad run team. And then Division 3 went out of order. Phoebus defeated Liberty Christian Academy, and then great game in Division 5 with Stonebridge defeating Maury on the last play of the game. Rusty and I both saw that live. And then the dominant team in the state, one of the best public schools in the country, probably one of the better schools in the country, period. Oscar Smith defeated Madison 42-17. We just want to congratulate every program, the players, the coaches, the staff, the parents, all those people. It takes a lot to get to a state championship. It's a lot different being a football player, a high school football player now. People are talking about you online. They got your huddle highlights. And, for these young guys to go out there and compete, it makes a huge difference. Now, the star of our show, he's a rating star. We need to make him the third wheel, is Jay Gholson up here from Northern Virginia. Jay,
hold on. Just
I was gonna say, you set it up.
Okay, so those of you who don't know, first of all, Jay is from the 703. All right, he actually has some credentials. Bruh played football for Potomac. Okay, he coached high school football, 2 great programs in Woodbridge and Hilton. He's an announcer for Freedom High School for their basketball and football programs. So dude knows some stuff. He knows some sports. He's played, and he's around it. He's coached. He's all about that sporting life. He's just wrong a lot, but he knows he knows stuff. But go ahead, Jay.
First of all, before I start, I was 3-1.
You were.
Okay. Now, Phoebus, like I said, it's respect. They go on a Saturday morning from 757 to Lynchburg.
They went Friday night, by the way.
Yeah, they had hotel rooms.
Yep.
Oh, they did?
Yep.
Yeah, they went up Friday.
Okay. But still, the playing team like LCA, Liberty Christian, who's a private school, basically, they recruit. They have a top quarterback in the state. They have a top offensive lineman in the state. And to go there and beat them on their home field, I'll give them respect. I admit I was wrong about Phoebus, and speed kills. Athletes kill and speed kills. And Phoebus, you have my respect. But you can't be Freedom now. But you're a state champion for Division 3. But you cannot beat Freedom High School Division 6. But you're a good program. Congratulations. And that's one pick I got wrong.
All right, so we'll get you the information to make a donation. I'll get Rusty to text you.
Okay.
For the I was gonna say what booster program was he giving to this week?
Yes, I'll give 2.
He owes me 3
You
meals.
got 2?
I'll do 2. I did a Phoebus, and whatever you guys suggest, whether it's the 757 Little League Colts.
Yeah, you did the Colts.
Huh?
Didn't you already donate to the Colts?
You did the 757.
I'll give more money. I'll give more money. Hey, that's my kid. Yeah.
So let's talk about that game. What have you all heard? Anthony, you're down there. I mean, you got a lot more to talk about. I know a lot, but I want to hear what you've heard about the Phoebus Liberty Christian game.
I'll never say it was one kid. It was just a collective group of kids that basically did what they usually do on Fridays and Saturdays. And that's what, like Jay said, and I told him before, speed kills. The hardest thing as a coach, the one thing you can't coach and it's hard to coach against is speed when you don't have it.
Right.
It's hard to coach against speed when you don't have it. They're very young. And I think that's what a lot of people were looking at. Oh, they're young. They're so young. They have about 3 or 4, maybe even more starting freshmen. And one of them being a kid by the name of Big Mark Hobson. He had the task of going up against Zach Rice.
A freshman?
Yeah, freshman.
And he did well.
When I tell you this kid held his own, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not calling his phone right now saying, hey, would you like to come on the official visit? And it's nothing taken away from Zach Rice. Zach Rice is proven to be a 5-star offensive lineman, highly sought after offensive lineman in the country. He's going to UNC. He had multiple offers, which he deserved them. But it was a kid that said, I can play football too. You know, you're a 5-star. I'm 14. So let's see what we equal out at. And he handled his business. But like I told you, Jay, the kid that didn't play
against Brentsville.
Against Brentsville, he played against LCA. And he showed them why he's considered one of the top rated receivers in this area. Wow. Kamari Gray showed out on both sides of the ball. Like it was a sight. You like, yo, he's all over the place. But like I said, speed kills any program. If you can't coach against speed, if you can't maintain the edges and the outside, you're gonna be in for a long day. And those front 4 on the defense and the front 5 on the offensive Phoebus, they came to play. They came with the lunch pails and the hard hats, man, and they was eating bologna sandwiches and potato chips all day long. And they just played they played a great football game. But like I said, Phoebus is the standard on the peninsula, and they're going to always be the standard because of the way they play. They're going to be the standard over there.
You know, one of the things I think, and we talked about it on our last show, is that I thought Phoebus, and I was kind of against it before because I didn't want anybody getting hurt, but I think Phoebus being able to reset, playing that Oscar Smith game was a great value. Let me tell you, it didn't matter to me whether they lost 12-7 or 42, whatever the score was. What that gave those coaches the ability to do is point out some flaws to these kids and say, work on this, and be humbled and say, we can be beat. We can be beat. And you know, I mean, we have a lot of pride. You know, hey, look, I love that we have 7575 pride, but we got Peninsula District pride, and we always feel like we better than that side of the water, and y'all now coming up on us. So, you know, I think it helped them to get some perspective, and then it doesn't hurt when you got somebody like Jay saying you can't do it. Now, I like I said, I was pulling for Phoebus, but I hadn't seen Liberty Christian. I wasn't really worried about an offensive lineman, really. Like I wasn't worried about if they had the 40 5-stars that Jay talked about. I'd be a little more worried. But I've also seen that some of these private schools they'll have a few players, but you know, overall, it's hard for a school out there to get as much time.
So I was going to put in the Phoebus camp, there's a lot of people that felt they left 3 touchdowns.
Easy.
So 43.
Wow.
So that was one way of looking at it. But there's also some people that were not very happy that it was that close and that it took an interception. Having said that, doesn't matter. They are the state champions, and they're going to be the favorite to win it next year. But, you know, Anthony, let's go to what we were talking about before we started taping. Like we all said it. How did Oscar Smith beat Phoebus 42-0? Again, Oscar Smith is a better team. But 42-0, how'd that happen?
I'm a firm believer when you win the trenches, you can do whatever you want to do. Like I said before, when you get pressure with 4 guys constantly and you're not worrying about blitz, you don't have to blitz your linebackers. You're not sending safety blitzes. You're not sending corners off the end, but you're constantly in the backfield. You're constantly on the quarterback's neck. You're constantly making tackles in the backfield. Oscar Smith's defense does a great job of taking one element away from an offense. They're going to either take away the run or you're not going to be able to throw.
Right.
And what they did with Phoebus, just like they did with Western Brecht, that also has a great running back. Kings Ford also has a great running back. They took away the running lanes. So which makes it makes the quarterback hold the ball longer. It makes him want to throw it makes him have to throw the ball. Right. But when you're throwing the ball under duress every play, you're going to be either getting hit a lot or you're going to throw a lot of either interceptions or incomplete passes. So not letting them get into what they did in the whole playoffs and what they did in the regular season was one of the main reasons. And then the offense strikes so fast. As you saw at the Battlefield game, Battlefield scored first, but it can happen so quick. It's 7-0, and the next time you go get a drink from the concession stand and you come back and it's already 21-7. You're like, yo, what happened? It just happens so fast. Phoebus is a good team, a great team. They just played a better team in Smith. And it helped them, but the scoreboard, the way the scoreboard looked, but on the field, they were just outmatched. I'm just gonna say it like that. They were just outmatched at that game.
Rusty,
that particular game.
You're on mute, Rusty.
I haven't seen Phoebus, I think, but this is what, because I've seen some discussions online on Hampton Roads football. And this is the difference between the divisions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The division 6 can have more depth. So when I looked at Oscar Smith's line,
big,
bruh, they were massive, but they were
college line.
I'm watching when Randall Pearson was in the game, the starting left tackle. I mean, he's a tackle, but he's very agile and he can move and he can block. But then you can take him out, and I swear at one point it looked like y'all had 5 300-pound kids in there. and
seriously, yeah.
And I know that's the difference between a lot of times in college football. So people, I know when Virginia Tech, back when my brother was there in the late 80s, early 90s, and they were coming off probation, they'll tell you, and this is when Kirk was there, they were good, in that the starters. But as the game went on, it was hard because the teams that had depth and had, because we had a reduction in scholarships, but had more athletes that could keep coming, it would just made it tough. So, and that's what Oscar Smith had. And eventually, man, when those kids are pounding and pounding and like at some point, you can't take it. And the other thing I'll say is, so I'm big. Like I think you win with the big boys on the line, offense and defensive. But the other thing I like that you guys had was your running attack. You had power, but you also had speed backs. And I know as a defensive coordinator, man, that's one of the hardest. And the person who's played it, like, it's hard when kids are just, we're going to stop this big guy, stop it. And the next thing, the quick guy comes, or vice versa. And so I give Oscar Smith all the props in the world, man. Like you said, it was the depth. You had the quarterback, you had the receivers, you had the running backs. So I give you guys a lot of props. Yeah.
What do y'all think about, all three of you, think about the athletic directors for both schools playing next year at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex, Norfolk State, or maybe even ODU? That might be hard with ODU having a game on Saturday, because I think it would sell a lot of tickets. And without the 757 having a major league sports franchise, I think that would be a great game. And I think there would be a big revenge factor. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
I would love to see it happen. I would like to play. I would love to see the kids play play teams other than what you see every every year, maybe a team that like how they brought Bosco in this year. It'll be. I mean, I've seen schedules in the past where they were playing teams from across them in the peninsula. I think it's iron sharper iron. So if you got the best of the best playing the best of the best, yeah, somebody's going to lose, but both teams are going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
You can never be content on how you're playing. You're going to always want to step it up. You always want to, okay, we need to fix this. You got to fix this. So, my personal opinion, iron sharpens iron, man, and I would love to see it happen again.
Jay, what do you say?
When I played football at Potomac, we played our first game against Petersburg High School. It was 90 miles away. We won at Hampton, but we couldn't work it out. So when I was playing in the 80s, we went everywhere. We went to Petersburg. Woodbridge played at GW Danville, which is like 4 hours away. So my day, we traveled across state for any game during the season.
Right.
But now there's so many high schools and counties that now they play within the county, like Fairfax, they play inside the county. They don't leave the county until the playoffs.
Right.
But when I played, that was normal, playing 4 hours away to either Hampton, Petersburg, or GW Danville. I miss those. Those are good old days.
Yeah. When I was in high school, when I played at Bethel, we would come up. We came up to play Archbishop Carroll up in DC. Yeah, and they were really good back then. I think the quarterback went to Wake Forest and they had a lot of talent. But I remember going there my 11th grade year. My senior year, we played Patrick Henry Roanoke.
Oh yeah,
and they had come off being 10-0 the year before, and so they had a great team. And we played them in their city stadium, and man, we beat them. And we beat them, and it was kind of controversial. Like when they had a guy, they tried to throw a screen, and the guy dropped it, but it was behind the line or something.
Mm-hmm.
And William Beverly picked it up, and he just scored or whatever. And it was a fun game because I tell you this: when you take those trips and you're playing real, you're challenging. You talked about it, Anthony. It's a long bus ride home, man.
It is.
It
was. Yeah, it is, and it was.
In my 11th grade year, I'll never forget. Actually, the kicker, John Perez, we had on the other day from JMU, that was my man. We always sat beside each other on the bus. After we lost in D.C., 3 hours back quiet. Couldn't say a word on that bus. And it made us think. And that next year, bro, when we went out to Roanoke and we beat Patrick Henry Roanoke, bro, we party. In fact, we stayed on Virginia Tech's campus. A little story. We stayed at Virginia Tech. They had a place where they used to house visiting teams. It was actually in Lane Stadium. And they had bunk beds. And they had all these pillows. We had a pillow fight. The pillows had feathers in them. Bro, you talk about a bunch of teenage boys having a pillow fight at 3 o'clock in the morning, and there were feathers everywhere.
Yeah.
But it was okay. We won.
Yeah.
We lost.
I can understand that.
Yeah, that was the old visitors locker room. That, by the way, the heat always broke when we had a home game for the visitors. So let's transition to probably the best game as far as the game, and that's Stonebridge and Maury. Rusty, you were there. Anthony, were you there?
I left early.
Okay. All right, early. Rusty, why don't you give us your take? We know it was 28-22. Everybody knows it was the last play of the game.
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
Collin Springs is one on the last play. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So what's your take, Rusty? What did you think about that game? It's one of the best games in any sport I've been to ever, probably top 5 or 10.
It made ESPN.
Yep.
Let me tell you, I've been going to the state championship for years. You talk about some of the best games. Some of the best games were also when Oscar Smith was playing Westfield.
Yes.
3 years in a row, winning overtime, or watching Highland Springs play Stonebridge for those same 3 years in a row. And those were yes, there have been some exciting games. Now, that game on Saturday was great. I was sitting on the Maury side, you were sitting on the Stonebridge side. And like I said, I have my nieces, they go to Maury, and I'm sitting with the fans. My brother's been all the games. And I'll tell you, it was exciting, especially I could tell both, like, I don't know if they changed their game plan, but my brother had mentioned how Maury ran a lot, but they came in this game, normally they run, they came out throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And they came out throwing, and I kind of surprised, but maybe that was to kind of throw off Stonebridge or whatever. But once they settled in and they ran the ball, you know, the game kind of got a flow, but the flow was slow. Like if I'm not mistaken, in that first, second, and third quarter, each team maybe only had one possession. I feel like there were long drives in a score or a long drive and a punt or something. But I
think there were only 2 punts. I might be wrong, but Stonebridge had a pooch, and there was one other punt.
Yeah, and so, you know, the thing is, I thought that, you know, the teams, they played hard, they played well, and the thing was going. So let me just tell you some from a fan perspective. I've never seen Mark. I heard how good the quarterback was. He ran effectively, but I thought they were running him too much, man. I was saying that in the stands, like, yo, this kid is big, he's running, but like, he's gonna get hurt. And they just kept running them. And from what, you know, my brother told me, they have some really talented other athletes on the team. And so the fact that they weren't spreading the ball around to, I don't know the kids, but I know it was like number 1, number 2, number 5, or 19. Some of those kids, you know, just to mix it up. Like I said, the quarterback was great. It basically was like Cam Newton out there, but he's kept getting pounded and pounded and pounded. And unfortunately, he got hurt. And, you know, and so Stonebridge is used to, they did it against Highland Springs. We saw them do it against Freedom. They, you know, they would answer, you know, Maury scored, but Stonebridge would answer. And unfortunately, they also, one of the things that I don't know, you could have seen this on Facebook, but I was also surprised when the backup quarterback, they had him back deep to return a kickoff. And I'm like, wait a minute, your backup quarterback, he maybe normally could do that. But right now, you need him to be healthy. And unfortunately, it looked like he kind of hurt his ankle or foot as well. And then the last thing, if anybody saw the game or heard about it, was, you know, under a minute to go, and Maury's defense looked like they were not in any type of prevent defense. And they may have a lot of faith in their athletes, but it looked like they were playing a lot of man-to-man. And then just failed to have people deep. And so the last play, I think it was about 4 seconds left on the play before that, they went about 50, 60 yards in about 3 plays.
Yes.
And the last play, they looks like Maury might have been man-to-man, but they were no type of prevent. And the young man caught the ball. Unfortunately, Maury tackler slipped and they scored at the last play of the game.
Yeah, I was going to point out that couple of things. Rusty, I texted you in the third quarter. Remember what I said?
No, what was that?
I said Maury is better.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I said Maury is better. And I thought Maury, it comes down to a couple of things. I'm taking nothing away from the Stonebridge kids. I thought Maury was more physical. I thought they had more talent. I thought they were faster, but they didn't win. The bottom line is that some of the things that you talked about, and you know, on that last play, some people said they ran the same play as last year. Not quite. That route that Zeke Wimbush, number 3, ran, basically twirled that cornerback around, and he fell. And when he fell, the other DB, which may have been a safety, it was like a hit. Yeah, he couldn't come in and tackle. So Zeke Wimbush just went in. And they weren't, you know, they rushed 4. All right, they did have man-to-man. And I don't even think they had a nickel package in. But I think that those plays.
Let's say this, though. DB 101 school. On a Hail Mary pass, you keep the receiver in front of you. And when I saw there, the guy this is too crowded back there. And it was a bad scheme. I don't know what, again, Moore has a great coach. I don't know, you know, just a bad mental mistake made by either the players or the coach. I don't know, but as a DB on a Hail Mary, you keep the receiver in front of you, and right there. Yeah.
I've also heard, and
He
Anthony, you may know a little bit more about this, but I also heard that the young man in there might have been young, maybe not been as experienced.
Maybe okay. I'll take that.
I'm not sure if he was young, but like Jay, you say, you keep him in front of you. Actually, to be truthful, he did have him in front of him.
Yeah, he did.
If he doesn't fall backwards, it's a good chance. It's a 50-50 chance that he makes the tackle.
Yeah.
But him falling and the safety being next to him, the fall was the pick. And then all he had to do is just stretch it out. It's one of those plays where it was just a lapse. It was a mental lapse on the defense. That's basically what it was. The ball hung up in the air for so long.
Yeah.
It was just like, man.
It was like almost like half a wheel route. And when he got down to the bottom of the wheel, I think there was a little bit of a bite by the kid. And he literally got twirled around and fell down. And then he picked the other guy. But before that, I thought 2 times. One, when Stonebridge's quarterback fumbled and they recovered and almost took it to the house, I thought, okay, that's too big of a mistake. And then there was another time where Maury got the ball back kind of deep, and the kid made a one-handed Odell Beckham Jr. And I'm like,
that's Mr. Granger.
Yeah, I'm like, that is it. And I just said, because Coach Thompson, Mickey Thompson, went for a 2-point conversion and didn't make it. And even though they won, I still think that was not a good play. They're great plays when they work, but that game was just so incredible. And I'll let you go, Rusty.
I got a question for 757 Anthony. So we're talking about Oscar Smith playing Phoebus, but how do you think, and not based on the result of them losing, but prior to that game, what do you think about Maury playing Oscar Smith? What kind of results will we get there?
And healthy.
A healthy Maury?
Yeah.
That's easy.
It'll be the same. It could potentially be the same as what we saw when we played Phoebus.
Ooh.
I don't think it would be the same as Phoebus, but I think they would win. Anthony, I think Maury's better than Phoebus.
Yes, yeah, and no. I can say yes and I can say
I agree with him.
No.
Phoebus has got they're just young. But number 51 on Maury was not a huge offensive lineman. He played both ways. Mm-hmm. Man, he was their best offensive lineman. He played left tackle. When they ran number 8, Saquon, around the left end, he made great seal blocks. The other question I was going to ask is, Jay put this up there, what about Stonebridge against Oscar Smith?
That'd be a waste of gas.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. First of all, remember,
you said
Stonebridge is 15-0 with a tougher schedule than Oscar Smith, according to Max Preps.
We can never use Max Preps.
I don't care about Max Preps.
You can't use Max Prep.
I don't care about Max Preps.
Max Prep is like one of the worst. Like, yeah,
they crunch.
The ones that are in the top 10 love Max Prep.
But they crunch Western Branch twice, and Western Branch is a very good team.
Very much.
Yeah, but no. Hold on. I'm not saying. Hold on, Jim. About to help you. I'm not saying Stonebridge could beat Oscar Smith, but they did play an extremely difficult schedule.
Thank you.
Very difficult.
Hold on. Who did Stonebridge beat the first game of the season?
Madison.
What was the score?
20-0.
Who did Smith play the last game of the season?
Maury.
No, we played Madison, right?
Yeah.
We'll get to that game. We'll get to that
42. Game. It was 42-17, and they scored a touchdown on a fake field goal. You do the numbers.
Stonebridge didn't give him no points. Stonebridge didn't give up any points.
That's true. I get that. The very first possession, they stopped us and got the ball back. Our punter kicked the ball 8 yards. They had the ball within the 40 and couldn't get it in. So you faked the field goal, you scored a touchdown. That was a great call. Okay, cool. We throw up 21 straight points.
Yeah,
And then
let me just say this. I think, it's hard to go this, but again, I'm going to say Stonebridge. They beat a very good Freedom team. They beat Madison. They beat Centerville. They beat Broad Run, who was in the Division IV final. They beat Highland Springs. Highland Springs is legit. I mean, it's not. I mean, they lost a few games this year, but they had a tough schedule. Look, their losses were to great teams. They lost to Verina, who was a Division IV state champion. They went out of the state and played a team in Carolina and West Virginia. Those were their, and then they lost to Stonebridge, who was now two-time state champion. But my point is, Highland Springs, traditionally, even though they're 5, they have often been the best team in the state. Even when Oscar Smith was good over these last 10 years, Highland has been very talented. Now,
they beat Oscar Smith 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They came down here and beat Oscar Smith 13-14 2 years ago. Or 13-12 or something like that.
So I don't know.
Well, let's transition then to the Oscar Smith game, because I felt that Oscar Smith came out flat, and I thought Madison, they're a pretty big physical team, and their right-footed kicker lined up left-footed. Somebody didn't watch some film, sorry. But then after that, talent just really stood out. As Rusty said, that offensive line, man, they had a lot of guys moving around, huge. There's a lot of guys are going to be playing college football. 3 of them are signing tomorrow. But my favorite player was number 9, that 95-yard touchdown run. I mean, he was good, but
he was.
Oscar Smith, definitely one of the best I've seen, in a long time. And this is a hypothetical, but how would they stack up against that 97 or 98 team where Hampton won the national championship, and the 2008 Phoebus team, which most Phoebus people believe that was the best team that Phoebus had? That's arguable, but let
me say this. The 98 Hilton team would beat this Oscar Smith team.
Well, that's a hypothetical. I mean, what about
Ahmad Brooks? I mean, there's people in NFL that on the Hilton team.
But you're talking about the same year as Hampton. Hampton had Ronald Curry.
Hampton also. I'll take Hampton, the Hilton team.
I don't know about Hilton.
That Hilton team, actually, Ahmad Brooks was the USA Today Player of the Year, and I think they were in the top 10 in the country in the final, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. If that was the same year as Curry, he wasn't the Player of the Year.
No, Curry finished in 96.
I thought it was Curry's
10-year difference.
Curry finished in 96.
Curry was the same year as Vic. He graduated in 1998. 97 was the year.
But we're talking, okay, he graduated in 97. We're talking about the fall of 98.
The fall of 98 would have been, okay, Curry and Vic were gone. All right, so Brooks is a year younger. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hilton won 3 years in a row. No, 2 years in a row. I'm sorry, 2 years in a row.
I would take that Hampton team over this Oscar Smith team.
Same here.
And I don't, the Phoebus team, I don't know, but great hypothetical. But Jay, Anthony, what were the kids saying about the slow start? I mean, it wasn't a slow start.
I don't, I was talking to my son and I was asking, like, what happened on the first possession? And he was just like, we just didn't get the yards. Right. That was their mentality. Like, after that, I mean, you see the guys talking on the sideline. There was no worry. There was like, okay, let's get the ball back out here. Let's go do what because that's what they do. They just expect to win. They expect to dominate. So there was no, what are we doing wrong? What happened on that one? Yeah, we know sometimes you're going to score on a possession. Sometimes you don't. So they just went back out there again and started scoring the ball.
So
that's good.
So let me ask you this, Anthony, because you've seen them all year, and I'm not anyway. I've only seen that quarterback one time, and you've seen him, I'm sure, tons now over the years. Is the quarterback from Oscar Smith? Is he looked good? I thought he looked good, but he also has a lot of talent around him. Do you think that he's really not saying he's not good. But do you all ever have a situation where you had to put your backup in, or you see your second string like that? I mean, because look, at one point when you guys were passing the ball, you might go 3 or and out, but once you guys went and you put them big boys in, and y'all like it was over. Like once y'all just drove it down their throats, like it was a wrap, and you broke their spirits, you know. And what I'm saying is, what was the most dominant part of your offense this year? Was it running the ball, or was it
running? It's running the ball, because those front five, the mud diggers, they just make it so much easier. They open up the passing game.
Yeah.
When you have to stack the box and still giving up 6-7 yards. Squirm, I want to say he averaged this year. I want to say he on the touch. I want to say he was close to almost 12 yards a touch.
It's not hard to believe.
That says a lot about the front five. Squirm is a great running back, but you do have to have linemen that are going to do the dirty work for you. They opened up gaping holes for him, and once he gets past that second level, for a big kid, he moves.
Yeah.
And as you saw on that 96-yard run, he can move. And it just makes our passing game that much better. But one thing I'm going to say about Ethan, or Easy E is what they like to call him, the post that he threw to Monte, I want to say it was the second touchdown.
Yeah.
He threw that knowing exactly what the safety was going to do. The kid is smart. He's a field journey. He understands routes. He understands if this safety does what he's supposed to do, Monte's going to be wide open. I called the play as soon as I saw them put Torrey and Monte on the same side. I told my nephew, I said, oh, this is going straight to Monte across the middle. He said, well, how you know that? I said, because Torrey's about to go to that safety. The safety's going to jump him. And what happens? The safety comes down. Monte's wide open. Monte has world-class speed itself. We have speed on the outside, but at the end of the day, you have to get on the ball. Ethan can get anybody the ball. He can make any throw. He's a gamer. And
don't get me wrong.
Faster. Yeah.
I like that. What I'm saying, I'll say this. I understand going to Kansas, but I was selfishly hoping he could stay at ODU. you know, because I want to look at it. You know, if he could take ODU to another level, I would love that too. And selfishly, I also hope my son can go to ODU.
I mean, you know, it's in the college world we live in now. It's you might as well say they're skating the line of professional football.
Oh yeah.
You know, you have you get now they have these endorsements that they can sign, and I'm not saying that's why he went, but you know, Power Fives offers, they hold a lot of weight.
Oh yeah.
You know, you get a Power Five, and especially when you know you can compete at a Power Five level.
You're on television a lot more.
He had Virginia Tech and everything like that, but was it a good fit for him? I'm not sure. I wasn't in his ear or anything like that. But I know when Kansas came knocking, it was something that he was interested in, and he made the transition and decommitted. It had nothing to do with the guy coming in. That we've known that for a couple of weeks now. So
that about the Notre Dame quarterback, for those of us who don't know. Yeah, okay.
Manchester.
He's from Manchester, right?
Right.
Did he go? Right. So they knew
led him to the state championship over Freedom a few years ago.
Okay. But Ethan's been doing it for 3 years. He came in as a sophomore, took him to the state champ, went to the state championship, lost 13-14 to a very good South County team. Came right back to
Westfield. No, South. You're right.
No, we lost to South County the first year and beat South County the next one.
So let me ask you this. All right. Yeah. We've talked here for a good amount of time, but let me ask you this. How do we look for next year? And the reason I bring that up is because we're talking about if they played this, they played that. Now, all I keep hearing is Phoebus is young. So I'm thinking, are they going to get better? You know, do they have the young people at the right positions? And then we know Oscar Smith is losing their quarterback. Mm-hmm. How many, tell us, Anthony, how many were seniors? How many young guys you got coming up? Look, you were blowing a lot of people out, but were you playing your backups? I noticed in this game, it looked to me, not until a little later, maybe some of the backup running backs, but your quarterback stayed in the whole game. Mm-hmm. Is your backup, is he good enough to play? What do y'all have?
The assessment on the backup, I haven't really seen him too much, but from what I'm hearing, what I talked to my son, from what I'm hearing about a practice, he can spin the ball too.
Okay.
He may not be as flashy as Ethan, or he may be about the same height as Ethan. But when you have something for 3 years, you get accustomed to it. So you really don't know what the next guy stepping in is, because nobody even knew what Ethan was 3 years ago. So it was like, okay, we got this guy right here coming in. Let's see how he does. And he took off. About the returners, we lose one receiver.
Which one is that? What was his number?
Number 3.
What about the kid, Toy 19? Is he coming back?
He's a junior.
He's tall. How tall is that kid?
6'5".
That's what I thought. Yo.
Yeah,
I saw Dre Bly talking to it. I think his parents.
Yeah, we've got
Dre Bly was all over the place, man.
Oh yeah.
We've got the receiver core coming back. They're intact, except like Monte, but 3 of the other starters are back. Number 13, Xavier Lewis and Jamari Knox, number 1, and Torrey, he's back. We lose both running backs and Squirm and Smoke, number 4, Jason Woodard. But we have a great running back that's on JV. As a young kid, but he can really tote the rock.
Okay.
You know, he can run the ball. All the linebacker core comes back. Except
now, let me ask you this: what with those? And I know the we know about Ethan, but have any of the other kids already committed?
Yes,
senior,
Wu, Martin, the center, he's going to ODU.
Yep.
He's signing tomorrow. Of course, Sherrod, he's going to Clemson. He's signing tomorrow. You have both D ends have actually Caleb is going to Navy. I'm not sure when he's signing. He's committed to Navy. Both of the D ends have offers. They haven't chose where they're going. We lose two offensive linemen, and that's Randall and Martin, the center. Those are the 2 that are leaving off the offensive line. And I want to say that's honestly it.
Okay.
Oh, and the 2 defensive tackles. The whole defensive line has offers. The only one who's committed to the Navy to school right now is Caleb. So Georgia has offers. Nuna has offers, and Saquon have offers. They just haven't committed anywhere. And a lot of people was wondering about the running back. He does hold offers, Division I offers. He holds them from Indiana, Marshall, and he just got offered by Norfolk State.
Oh, okay. So I'm getting ready to come to you, Kirk, and then to you, Jay. So first one is for you, Kirk. Do you know anything about Phoebus is young? Do you know if any of do they have any seniors that have any offers or going anywhere?
Number 2. What's his name again? Anthony? Kamari's got Norfolk State. He's got 4 Livingston. He's got 4 or 5 offers. And then, man, they got a lot coming back. They're going to be good.
They're really young.
And the thing is, because they're young, I don't think they're going to feel as much pressure to repeat. I mean, I think they're going to be a hard team to beat. And then with Stonebridge, though, that's going to be interesting. They're going to have to
reload, though. They reload, you know, and they'll have different styles. They'll have a big team, like they've been big in the past, and then they had this smaller team this year, and Mickey's able to adjust. All right, Jay, for you, not just Freedom, but can you tell me some of the kids that you know where they're going in the Prince William County specifically, and maybe if you've heard of some of the other kids in the 703?
So far, we have Sean Murphy going to Alabama.
Yep.
Yeah. He was the Buckus Award winner, right?
He's a beast.
A what? Yeah, he is.
I said he
Buckus
won
Award. He won the Buckus Award in high school.
Yeah. And Davis Bryson is leaning towards Naval Academy also. He has like 3 offers. Naval Academy, I want to say San Diego State.
I think Virginia State,
some
too.
Other small schools. Yeah, you have BSU also. Well, being a union guy, I don't want to say that. But Jabril Ahmed is leaning towards Marshall.
Okay.
Linebacker for Freedom.
I think I also heard you.
Freedom has, we only have 3 seniors this year. That's it. Wow. We only have 3 seniors. So if 18 coming back, and so really for Freedom, it's all freshmen, sophomores, and juniors that are on team this year. Garfield has a few players getting Division II offers. One guy, Isaiah Crockett's going to VMI from Garfield.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's it basically, because we have a lot of young players this year. It's the whole county. That's mostly young players.
Well, we got Forest Park has
Gilbert.
Gilbert's going to Boston College, and Battlefield had the kid going to Duke.
Oh, yeah, Wesley Williams. I'm sorry, Wesley Williams.
Okay, so let me ask you this, guys. Do you all think that it's fair? First of all, do you think it's fair for these private schools to be able to play in our tournament? Because this is really like the first time it's really one of those teams that I know of to make it to the public school final. Do you think it's fair? Okay, I see it. And then, is there any growth in your area down there, Anthony, with the private schools? And I can speak to this area because here in the DMV, they have the WCAC, and that's a big thing where a lot of the private schools are taking kids from the public schools.
Right.
My son did it this year to increase his opportunities. But I'll say this: when I grew up playing football in 757, and I think it may still be like when you play, if the private schools were way below. Like it just the kids playing in the private schools were the kids that could afford to go to the private schools. It was very different back then. This is 30 years ago, and that's why I was like when we went up to play Archbishop Carroll back in '85. We were like, we're playing a private school. I mean, we had no, we're like, we're gonna crush them. And then we got there, man, and this school is in the city. They had a Dust Bowl field. Their uniforms look all ragged. We were like, we're gonna kill these dudes, man. It was 6-0 at the half. They were only up 6-0, and I think they beat us like 40-12 or something, 50-12. And then we were like, oh, they can recruit. And then we didn't know, like, oh, they're with the DeMathas and McNamara's and Gonzaga and St. John's, So up here, it's big. It's big in football, but it's really big in basketball. When you see Paula Six, O'Connell, DeMatha, some of the best players in the country. Tell me a little bit about 7570. Are the private schools, are they any quality?
You got a couple that are actually pretty good. You have like Atlantic Shores. They just won their championship, and you have Portsmouth Christian.
Yeah.
A lot of kids that are actually going there are leaving public schools and reclassing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where you're getting a lot of the talent from. Like from the public schools, they're reclassing, and it's nothing wrong with it. Everybody's trying to go to college, trying to get to the next level, and if that's going to help you, that's how they really get a majority of their studs. Kids go to public school, compete in public school, may not have the looks that they want an extra year. They go to the public school. They go to the private school. But those are the main two. You have Greenbrier Christian, but they're not on the level of an Atlantic Shores or a Portsmouth Christian. Portsmouth Christian has been pretty good for the last couple of years, maybe the last 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken. They've been pretty good. Atlantic Shores has always fielded a good football team for their conference. So it's different. It's not a powerhouse thing here, but they do have some talent. And a lot, like I said, a lot of it does come from the public schools. You may see a couple that are there from freshman year all the way through, but majority of the bigger ones, that the bigger kids and the speedy guys and strong guys, they're coming in and reclassing.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing, Rusty, I was just going to point out, I'm sorry, is that the Catholic Church, once you start going south of Fredericksburg, like when we grew up in Hampton, I think there were 2 Catholic churches. So a Catholic league down there, even the private schools, the Benedictines and the St. Christopher and, Russell Wilson Collegiate. Those are not, I think most of those are not Catholic.
They're private, but they're
right.
Religious based, but they're not Catholic.
So Christian schools, when you get to places like Memphis and Nashville and things like that. But go ahead. What you're going to ask Jay?
Oh, I was just going to ask Jay. At some point, I want us to transition. Can we hear a little bit about basketball? And we have a few minutes left. And then I want to also, Anthony, did you make predictions last week?
Yep.
Did we all make predictions?
Yeah, we did.
He picked everybody except.
Can we review them?
We'll go through those.
Okay.
So all three of us were 3-1.
You were?
Yeah. I want to hear who picked what.
The only one Anthony got wrong was Maury. And then let's see, the only one that I got wrong was Broad Run. Rusty picked
LCA. No, he didn't pick.
No, he picked LCA. Rusty picked LCA.
For motivation.
And then let's see, Jay.
I picked LCA.
LCA.
Yeah.
So all three of us
40.
By
40.
I didn't say that.
By 40.
By 40.
Three meals and couple donations. So
yeah.
By the way, transitioning and closing out, what does basketball look like in the 757? I mean, they've had some good Power 5 players come out of there, but a lot of those have been on the peninsula. Actually, well, it used to be just the opposite.
And you got Kings Fort. They've always put a great basketball team on the court. You got the kid. I want to say his last name is Epps. Out of Kings Fort. But they're probably one of the better teams on our side. In the beach, you have a couple good teams. You have who are the Cavs? I want to say it's PA.
Princess Anne, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say it's PA. So they have a solid basketball team. They have a solid basketball team, boys and girls.
Oh,
so,
their girls are
their girls team is crazy.
That's one of the best
girls
in the
team
country.
is crazy.
I don't. Haven't they won like the last 15 out of state championship?
It's like their whole starting 5. Their whole rotation goes Division 1. It's crazy.
Booker
Texas A&M's and stuff.
Back in the day, Booker T and Maury, Deep Creek was real good. Kempsville had J.R. Reed, but Maury and Booker T were always good. And then we've got some good programs up here, Rusty. You know, very good programs.
Hilton lost in the state championship about 3 years ago to Woodson. Centerville's won. I think Centerville beat Potomac last year, right? In Division 6. Potomac has won how many state championships? You guys have got 3 or 4?
Yeah, about 3.
Yep. Yeah. Potomac's good.
Potomac Falls. Bethel, we've won one. We lost at TC a few years ago, and we won when Chuck was there. Yeah, and I think they beat Hampton tonight. Yeah, but look, guys, this has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you all, man. If there's anything we can do to help you guys promote anything, and Anthony, I know your son is a rising senior. We want to, give him and some of those other kids some shout outs as they do stuff this summer, if they're going to any camps, playing 7-on-7, anything we can do to help them. And Jay, you can maybe work on your predictions.
Open your wallet more.
Not watching, but
next year it's Freedom High School state champions.
What is that again? Who's state champion?
Next year, Freedom High School will be a state champions of football. 2022 season.
And they're Division 6. All right, we'll see.
Yeah. It'll be at Freedom December of next year.
If Jordan Dennis stays at South County, I think South County. Jordan, I coached him.
Really?
I coached him, right? Him and my brother.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan and my son were on the same team. We won the championship. But he had 2,996 yards. He led the state in passing, and he's only in the 10th grade. He was 4 yards from getting 3,000 yards. And so if he stays in South County, I like them to because we had him on the show, and they had 2 other kids that were juniors. I look to see South County really put in some work next year.
I want to close up with this, and at this point in time, most of your youngsters have, this is a podcast. People cut off at certain points, but we had Leon Taylor on a JMU special, and he was talking about the way he got an offer was people were there to look at other schools with better players. So for the ODU games, when a guy like Dre Bly is there, and one of the reasons why they had a big recruiting weekend also, he was able to zip back down there. But he's going to notice Maury, Stonebridge, Oscar Smith, and Madison. Some players might catch his eye. Richmond had 3 assistants there for the the Stonebridge quarterbacks going there, and they were over on that side. But those guys are going to always be playing. Look at your facial expressions, your body language when you're coming off. How do you react to adversity? Great point. When Madison was physical, they got Ethan Vasco a couple times. I never saw the Oscar Smith kids, do anything. And then on the Stonebridge side, I never saw those kids drop their heads, act like, oh my God, we're going to lose this game. So I just wanted to point that out. It's been fun. Jay, you've been worth a gazillion views. We need you on here more. So we've got Freedom beating Oscar Smith next year for sure. And he's going to endow a scholarship to Harvard to a student from the losing team. But hey, guys, it's getting late. Thanks, Anthony. Right. Tell Xavier to work hard. We're looking forward to seeing him next year.
We'll do.
My Phoebus Phantoms won their 8th state championship, 2nd behind only Hampton High School.
Congratulations.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Okay, hey,
Kirk and Bird show
behind me. Jay, that's what you're gonna see again next year. We going for 3.
All right. Please subscribe to the Kirk and Bird show. We are out.
All right.